That evening, Nova sees that Claire's son is going camping with his father. However, Claire is not going with them. Nova realizes this is his opportunity and secretly enters Claire's house. He offers her something, but she refuses to take it. Nova then says to her that she invites him to dinner every day, and he has never refused her. Hearing this, Claire starts to walk away because she understands that Nova's intentions are not right. But as she moves forward, Nova steps in front of her. Before Claire can say anything, Nova gets close to her, and the distance between them disappears. The next day, Claire wakes up and gets busy with her household chores. However, she seems a bit troubled because her husband is having an affair with a younger woman. He has been disappearing for days, and because of this, Claire is considering divorcing him. But her son Kevin does not want her to separate from his father. Today is Kevin's birthday, so he has invited his father, Garrett. That night, Claire meets her best friend Vicky and tells her that she is willing to give Garrett one more chance. However, Vicky suggests that she should leave Garrett. That same night, Garrett arrives for Kevin's birthday and gives him a computer as a gift. Afterward, Garrett tells Kevin that he wants to spend time with him, but first he needs to finish a business trip. As soon as Claire hears about the business trip, she suspects that Garrett is going to meet that woman again. Garrett tries to convince her that it is just a business trip, but Claire tells him that this time he should take Kevin with him. Later, when she is alone, she breaks down in tears because it is not easy for her to forget Garrett's affair so quickly. The next day, while Claire is taking her car out of the parking garage, the door gets stuck midway. She tries to push it upward, but it is too heavy for her. At that moment, Nova arrives and helps her. Nova is actually the relative of a retired army officer who lives next door to Claire. His parents died in a car accident, after which he came to stay with his uncle so he could take care of him. Nova tells Claire that he can fix the door. For this, he takes Kevin along to a hardware store. On the way, Kevin finds out that Nova is trying to get a job at the same college where Claire works. At the store, Kevin sees his crush, Ellie, standing at the counter. He likes her but hasn't been able to propose to her yet. Nova encourages Kevin to talk to Ellie openly and also introduces himself to her. After returning from the store, Nova asks Claire why those boys call Kevin sick. Claire tells him that Kevin suffers from asthma and carries an EpiPen with him so he can save himself in case of an allergic attack. Meanwhile, Nova fixes the parking door, which makes Claire very happy. Late at night, Claire cannot sleep. She gets up and looks toward Nova's house because she feels that she has finally found the happiness she had been searching for. The next morning, Claire sees Nova helping Kevin outside her house. Watching him, she smiles at Nova and makes a few subtle gestures, but Nova doesn't understand them. A little later, during lunch, Claire introduces Nova to her best friend, Vicky. As they talk, Claire realizes that, just like her, Nova has a deep love for books and poetry. After lunch, when Nova follows Claire into the kitchen, she looks at him with such a warm, lingering smile that he is left stunned. However, because Kevin and Vicky are nearby, he doesn't say anything. Meanwhile, both Vicky and Kevin quietly notice the tension between them. That same evening, Nova sees that Claire's son is leaving for a camping trip with his father, while Claire stays behind looking upset. Sensing an opportunity, Nova quietly enters Claire's house and gives her a poetry book to lift her mood. Even though Claire really likes the book, she initially refuses to accept it. Nova reminds her that she invites him to dinner every day, and he has never refused her. Hearing this, Claire finally accepts the book. Just then, Nova notices a pair of new sandals lying on the floor. He tells her that girls usually wear such sandals to look beautiful, but she doesn't need them because she is already beautiful. Flattered by his words, Claire tries on the sandals that same night. While doing so, she accidentally sees Nova changing his clothes. Nova also notices her, and she quickly hides behind a curtain, though he already knows she was there. The next day, Claire wears those sandals to meet Cooper, a friend of Vicky's husband. However, she soon realizes that Cooper cares more about money than education or values, so she leaves the date midway. Back home, she starts drinking, and upon seeing some cookies on the table that Nova had left unfinished earlier, she begins to miss him. At that moment, Nova calls her and invites her over to his place to help him cook chicken. This is exactly the kind of opportunity Claire had been waiting for. She goes over to help him, and the two spend time talking at length. Under the influence of alcohol, Claire opens up about her pain. Seizing the moment, Nova tells her that he really likes her. Before things can go further, Claire tries to leave, but Nova stops her and says that he knows she was watching him that night. He continues to seduce her, leaving her with no time to think or respond. Truthfully, she doesn't want to stop him either. Eventually, Claire gives in, and the two grow very close to each other. The next morning, when Claire wakes up, she is filled with regret. She feels guilty for cheating on her husband, but Nova tries to reassure her, saying that he genuinely likes her and that everything that happened the previous night was consensual. Claire, however, is not ready to accept this. She gently tries to calm him down, but he tells her to leave. Later that same morning, Claire's husband returns from the camping trip with Kevin. Kevin invites his father to dinner. Claire, in the kitchen, feels anxious, worried that Nova might come and reveal everything. Just then, she hears Nova's voice. He's introducing himself to her husband. However, he doesn't reveal anything, which makes Claire think that Nova has come to terms with his feelings. A little later, as Nova is leaving, he brushes past Claire in a subtle, intimate way. Claire's husband notices this moment, but says nothing. That same night, Garrett reassures Claire that he truly regrets his mistake. He tells her he wants to be with her and make things right. Claire decides to give him another chance, partly because she is also feeling guilty about having cheated on him. Meanwhile, Nova sees the two of them together, and it fills him with growing anger. The next day, while Claire is with her first-year students, the principal walks in with Nova. Nova sits down among the first-year students, even though he isn't supposed to be there. Claire is shocked and points this out to the principal. However, the principal reminds her that she herself had sent an email requesting that Nova be allowed to join the first-year class. Claire is confused because she never sent such an email. When she gets home and checks, Nova shows up and casually suggests that maybe her email was hacked and that she should change her password. At that moment, Claire realizes that Nova is behind all of this. She sends Nova downstairs and tells Kevin to stay away from him because his father is coming over for dinner and she wants it to be just the three of them tonight. Nova overhears this conversation and starts turning Kevin against his father. He tells Kevin that his dad cheated on his mom, spent 9 months enjoying himself with a younger woman, and then tried to make up for it by buying him a computer. He adds that it's surprising Kevin never even questioned him about it. Hearing this, Kevin becomes furious. At dinner, he confronts his father and demands to know why he treated his mom that way. Claire tries to calm him down, but Garrett admits that Kevin's anger is justified. The next day, while Kevin is practicing boxing with Nova, Nova continues to manipulate him, saying that his father treats people like temporary distractions. This pushes Kevin into an emotional state, triggering an allergic asthma attack. Nova quickly grabs the EpiPen from Kevin's bag and saves his life. In doing so, Nova successfully earns Kevin's trust. Meanwhile, Vicky brings over some flowers that someone has sent to Claire. Claire assumes they are from Garrett, but when she calls him, he denies sending them. Realizing the truth, Claire goes straight to Nova and tells him to stop bothering her. Nova responds angrily, saying that he just saved her son's life. She didn't even thank him. Instead, she's scolding him. Although Claire's reaction hurts Nova's feelings, he still saved Kevin. Taking that into account, Claire decides to ignore his behavior and give their relationship a fresh start as friends. Nova agrees. On the other hand, Kevin asks his crush Ellie out to a movie, but she says she's busy. Just then, Nova shows up. Seeing him, Ellie instead invites Kevin to be her partner at the fall fling party. Kevin happily agrees and leaves excited. That same night, Claire and Garrett return home from a date and begin to get close. However, Claire stops and says she's not ready yet and needs more time. Garrett respects her feelings and doesn't pressure her. Instead, he sleeps on a couch. From outside, Nova watches them and assumes they have become unable to handle it. He breaks down in his room, feeling betrayed. He believes he truly loved Claire, but she has deceived him. The next morning, as soon as Garrett leaves, Nova confronts Claire and starts speaking harshly to her. Claire is confused by his behavior. After Nova leaves, Kevin arrives and Claire warns him to stay away from Nova. However, since Nova saved his life, Kevin refuses to listen and goes off with him. Meanwhile, Vicky, who is the vice principal of the college, checks Nova's past records and discovers that he was previously expelled for disturbing behavior. Nova, however, doesn't care. In fact, he uses offensive language toward her, which leads to him being fired from the college job. That same night, Claire takes Kevin to the fall fling party, where Kevin plans to confess his feelings to Ellie. At the party, Ellie tells Claire that someone has left all the taps running in the boys' restroom. At Ellie's request, Claire goes to check. Inside, Nova shows up and tries to get close to her again. Furious, Claire cracks her and walks out. That same night, Claire hears music coming from Nova's house. When she looks, she sees that Kevin's girlfriend, Ellie, is with Nova. It becomes clear that Ellie chose Nova over Kevin as her partner. Claire realizes that the two of them have been fooling her son all this time. The next day, Claire's students are waiting for class to begin when she arrives and opens the classroom. To her shock, the principal knocks on the door, making her panic. Somehow, she manages to handle both the students and the principal without revealing anything. That same evening, Garrett goes to pick Kevin up. Kevin is still angry with him, so Garrett suggests that Kevin to drive the car to lighten his mood. However, in his anger, Kevin speeds up and suddenly the brakes fail. With quick thinking, Garrett guides him and helps bring the car to a safe stop. This makes Kevin realize how much his father cares about him, and he begins to soften. A few hours later, Claire sees Garrett's damaged car and gets worried. When she goes inside, Garrett tells her that the brakes had failed and they almost had an accident, but they survived. Nova is also there. Using an excuse to step into the kitchen, he corners Claire. That night, Claire goes to Nova's house to find out what he wants. Nova tells her that they love each other. From his words, Claire realizes that Nova has blurred the line between reality and the romantic stories of poetry and novels. He has become obsessed with her. She shares her fears with Vicky. The next day, as usual, Nova follows Claire in his truck. Meanwhile, Vicky goes to Nova's house to erase the evidence. After driving some distance, Nova notices at a traffic signal that it's actually Vicky driving Claire's car. He immediately understands Claire's plan and turns his vehicle around. Vicky calls Claire and warns her that Nova has seen her and is heading back home. Meanwhile, Claire follows a camera wire into the basement of Nova's house, where she finds the walls covered with her photos. She deletes everything from the computer. During this, she also discovers that Nova has done detailed research on the brakes of a minivan. Alarmed, Claire calls Vicky and asks for the contact of a police officer known to Ethan in San Bernardino. Just then, someone knocks on the door. Claire fears it's Nova, but it turns out to be Kevin. At the same time, after Vicky hangs up the call, Claire then travels to the town where Nova came from. From one of Ethan's contacts, she learns that the car in which Nova's parents is a 2006 minivan. She realizes the horrifying truth Nova himself had caused. Meanwhile, Nova calls Kevin and tells him that he is at Vicky's place and there's some kind of problem. He asks Kevin to come there and bring his father Garrett along to help. That same night, Claire reaches Vicky's house and finds her. Nova replies that he loved his mother deeply, but when she discovered his father's affair, he then takes Claire to a warehouse. Claire then escapes the burning warehouse with Garrett and Kevin. Soon after, an ambulance arrives and takes the three of them away. And with that, the story comes to an end.